皆さん、こんにちは。今日はですね、なんとフランスからコロンビアに住んでいるフランス人の友達が、インタビューに答えているフランスについて気になることを私の方からすごい率直にズバズバと聞いていきたいと思います。Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Martina and Leiro. First of all, why you guys came to Colombia?
Nice
question. I think you should.
Okay, from school, we are students. We are studying Germany. And we are engineering school. All the engineering or master diploma, you have to make months about the country. It's obligatory.
I see.
So each university have a lot of
partnership
with the University of the World. By Colombia, I choose Colombia because I can do a project here. They offer me the opportunity of opening my I want to discover the Colombia. I want to discover the landscape, the food, text country. I wanted to new material.
I would like to add that this trip is also a way for us to meet new people and to learn Spanish. What's important in the trip is the fact that university where we are, I can choose all the courses and offer.
Oh, I heard that in Colombia there are a lot of French.
Yeah, actually in Bogota there's a lot of French because there's a lot of universities. Like I said, every student has to make 6 months minimum abroad, a partnership with French university. So there's a lot of French because of the student.
I think French people strong culture of traveling. I'm only 23 years old, but during my travel, I always meet French people. They are like everywhere. Wow. In all the world, you can meet French people. Amazing and curious that we French people love that much going abroad and discover new culture and people.
I think this is because French is a country where the people have money. Also, we have the culture of going on adventure. It's not like we're traveling for going to hotel and for going to beaches or going like museums and stuff. We want to go for discovering. Yeah, we're traveling for the culture. We are going to places like here, like Colombia, where there's a lot of culture.
Oh, I see. And you both can speak Spanish.
Yes.
Wow. How many languages do you speak?
3.
Only 3. And we learned Spanish during our trip in South America. For 5 months that we are speaking Spanish in South America. That's why we speak Spanish.
But in the beginning it was a bit hard.
Like always.
French people are extroverted.
I think so. Extra shy.
They want to go in places without much tourism, without fake culture. They want you to go and to see the people, how they're living, how they speak, how they eat, and stuff like that.
When I was in Canada, I met some teacher. She was teaching French. I was in Quebec, place they need to speak French. She mentioned about in her country French. People is very friendly. A lot of talk in the street. Canada is more little bit calm. How do you think the French people are a lot in the street?
I'll let you start.
Yeah, I think it's a really interesting question.
Yeah.
I would explain this phenomenon with the climate, the temperature, place. The more you go into the north, in Europe at least, the more people are like close, a little bit cold, hard to make friends with them. They are not really welcoming. They are, but less. It's not like in Spain or Colombia or Italy where you meet someone and he becomes your friend directly.
I think, like you said, in Europe in general, in France, for example, I came from the south and he came from the north.
Yeah, and there is difference
and there is a lot
between
of difference
us.
Because in my city or in my area, it's really not. It's really like for example, I days where I avoid people in the street because if I don't, it's like we're gonna speak for hours. So I'm like walking in my city like, oh no, because, you know, everybody talks to everybody and loud, and we talk a lot, and then there's a lot of people in the street sitting with the child like playing and with the dogs, and so a lot of people met, and then you have your neighbor and stuff like this. But for example, my sister went to working on the north a few years ago, and it was a shock for her because there the people are not in the sitting. The people are in the street because they go from one point to another point, or for example in the marketplace. But they don't sit like this, waiting for someone to pass for chatting. And so my sister it's a bit more, like there is less life in the streets, but the people are welcoming. Like if you break the barrier of the people not in the street, like you are going to talk to someone, the market or stuff like this, like people respond to you and they're really welcoming.
So you came from a different culture.
Yeah,
Exactly.
in France there's a lot of different culture in the same country.
How you guys get along?
We are different, but we still are French. So
We like cheese and wine.
Cheese and wine.
yeah, we have a lot in common
I see.
in all the parts of France. So
Yeah.
Can I ask your hometown name?
my name is called Nantes, and it's near from the Atlantic Ocean, a place in France that is really famous that is called Bretagne. It's in the north, the west.
I came from a little village that I wouldn't say the name, but it's really, really isolated. His name is Saint-Gauzens.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's really small. Like there's a few houses and shit.
Oh.
But I came near the big city. Near is Toulouse, and yeah, and it's an area like near. It's between the Pyrenees. It's mountains, and then the sea, Mediterranean Sea. So I grew up with both culture, like the Mediterranean and the Pyrenean.
Thanks so much. Let me know the background. Okay, let's get down to the business. Japanese viewpoint. French is the traditional center of the art. How did you learn art in your country? How do you think about art from a French's viewpoint?
I think that we should admit that we have a strong art culture in France, and we still get the benefits of it. For example, people, when you grow in Paris, you have in your city so much art, museum, beautiful buildings. You have the Tour Eiffel, you have les Champs-Élysées avec l'Arc de Triomphe.
The place of the Republic.
Art is everywhere. We have a strong heritage from like the 19th century.
But you talk about Paris.
So, but it's not only Paris. All the country, we have a strong culture of art in the streets, but also at school.
Oh, at school.
That's important.
That's really important, and for us, it's normal. We have a really nice system about art teaching at school. For example, we have French classes, but during these French classes, we also study a piece of art.
Oh, art means something painting?
It could be, it depends. A lot of time it's painting. Like in French classes, we see a lot of writing arts, like poem, poetry, things like this. We see a lot because it's French classes. But also painting or singing, a lot of song, a lot of stuff like this. Like all the arts combine. For example, in a semester, you see a subject, and then you see a lot of writing. But it could be whatever: painting, building, song,
theater,
a lot of theater. A lot of theater.
Education will be started
from 5 years old to 10. Start to have arts. Classes.
Since 5 years.
Yeah. Part of our history class focused on the art history. There is lots of art history. Actually, when I was in 12 years old, I had art history. But we also had a music class.
Music class, wow.
And
yes,
that
all
was
classes.
amazing because the teacher were making us singing. We had to sing. We had to play instruments, and we had to study music piece of art. At the end, we have a strong art teaching system. We do art. Like we paint, we make sculpture,
That's right.
we do ceramic.
And it's mandatory, like it's obligatory.
Mandatory.
Yeah.
Oh.
The name of the class is art, so actually the teacher can do whatever he wants. I remember also we have to talk about little points, I think. For example, music classes. I came from the countryside. And a place hiding in the countryside. Like not a big city, not a big place, not a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And he came from a big city. And I have lots of friends who came from big cities. When I talk of the music classes, there's a huge difference.
There is a gap between
A huge gap.
the different school.
The area.
That's real.
Because my school was a bit poor, like it was public school, but there's differences about public school depending from where you are. And in my school it was like basic music, like singing stuff, and the teacher was a bit like, oh, we're gonna do that and we're gonna do that. So it was a bit boring. And there's a lot of people in the city who have access to instruments. So they can teach instruments like piano, like there's battery, there's guitar, everything.
I did. Actually, I didn't. I'm a musician. I play the trumpet, the piano, and the guitar.
Yes.
Wow.
And we are very lucky in France because we have music school where you can learn how to play instruments. It's quite affordable because the teachers are paid by the state in majority. So it's really affordable and everyone can.
And there's help.
And have
the state.
can go to a class, attend to a class.
And there's also a thing is called conservatory.
But this is another system.
Ah, there's another?
Yeah, music school. It's like different system.
Okay, I didn't
Explain that in France we have so much artists. It's a really good question to ask to ourselves about the class, the school, the art class, the music class, the history class. It's part of the answer and why French people have that much artists, that much painter.
We are growing up
Writer.
every time with art.
Wow.
And in a point where we didn't realize it.
Oh, it's interesting.
Yeah, because for example, in each city, not little city,
Village.
not village, but in which you have a museum,
Oh.
for example. And it is free for people, like for French people, it's free, so you can go to the museum.
Everywhere in the country.
Everywhere in the country. You
What
have
city
at least
and the suburb, everywhere.
you have at least one museum. So every schools, since you're a child, at least one time, and I think it's several times for each schools, all the students went to the museum. Of the museum, from the teacher who is speaking about the piece of art in each museum. And for example, in my school, my sister, I don't because we didn't have money, but my sister did it. For the history classes, they went in all the arts museum about the Second World War in the north of France. So the states paid a trip for all the students of the high school for going in like 7 museums of arts. Not things like historical, no, arts, or like teaching how it was in the Second World War through the art. And it wasn't art classes, it was history classes.
For experience.
For experience, because that art is not only art, it's like the way of expressing things, is a way of seeing how the past was, it's a way of expressing itself, it's a way of protesting, it's a way of showing stuff, and I think
it's not only all for art, it's connected with history or
because the
politics stuff, sociology stuff.
I think the artists, the art have a really huge impact in history. Artists are really engaged people, you know. They engage in politics, in social problem. They are like activists
Exactly.
through the art.
I didn't realize actually that.
For example, when we study about the French Revolution, we have a lot of painting that we study.
For example, Dracula.
Delacroix. See, there is this
Japanese pronunciation.
the Marianne.
Like
the naked woman.
like the flag.
And with the hats.
Yeah. For
So
example.
that's part of her apprenticeship.
And for example, this is woman. It's just a representation of art. It's like allegoria. It's like the representation of a symbol of the freedom. And nowadays, the house of the mayor in the city, in each place like this, you have this statue of this woman.
Oh, wow.
For representing the freedom of the states.
Very connected with education.
Yeah, like art is everywhere in the education. I tell you, also when you are 15 years old, you are in the end of college, that's named, and you have to elect it between two classes, and one of these classes is named History of Art. In these classes, you can elect it, the type of art, and the subject. And you have 1 year, and you have all the stuff you can find for producing in the end a piece of art and explaining it. Like this history, why you make this piece of art, what it represented. And this is, you have a mark, and this helps allowing you to go to high school.
あと、日本人の考える Google 美術館とかでこう模写してたりしますよね。こういう憧れがあるんですけど、それは本当なのかと聞いてみたり。Actually, many Japanese thinking about French people go to museum and imitate the front of the very famous. It is it's common.
Oh, if you go to the Louvre, you will see a lot of people. Most of all are students painting, reproducing in the museum. I saw it when I went to the Louvre.
I think that's true in the big city. You have a lot of like classic museum. It's the name of the type of museum where you have historical piece of art of French culture. This is, like I said, this is free. I think that's why there's a lot of people who came just for trying, because this is free. So you can go and you can spend the time you want. An open place of the city. So if you want to practice, then you can go.
It reminded me of there were a lot of issues that some people protested for through the framework. Think about it.
That's a huge question. That's a huge question. Respond only about the art aspect. If we don't, we're gonna.
I see.
People that protest for climate change by putting paint thing to destroy them. I think it's make action, talk about climate change, to shake the government, to make them react so they can do things. But then we can discuss about the method of taking the attention of people.
Yeah, I think they wanted, like say Matteo, they wanted to react the political, and also they wanted to react the press. And I think they choose a sensible point, which is the art, because French is recognizing about the art and about the Louvre and the gallery of the Louvre. So they did it, but knowing that they will not hurt the art. I think we have to speak about this because there is glasses. So
They know.
They know that
they know.
glass.
Everyone know it because if they don't have these glasses, there's so many people who came from seeing art in France that the painting will destroy. I think this is the point. They wanted to shock states because art is a thing that you don't attack because it's art and it's like sacred, it's like a religion in French. So if you attack this, you attack all the culture and it make everyone reacted. I think they won in a way because they chopped all the Europe system. But I think we also have to talk about one thing. I don't know if in Asia you have the notice. There was a movie who was released. Suicide Squad 2 is a movie who released in America, in the United States. And for the promotion of this movie, there was Lady Gaga who went in the Louvre and who was painting on the glasses of art.
Really, Lady Gaga? Or
Lady Gaga. She was painting stuff on famous painting, but
Uh-huh.
not on the painting, on the glasses
Okay.
of the painting.
I see.
This was for making the promotion of the movie in Europe. Because, like I said, in Europe it's important, this piece of art. So if you touch it, you touch all the culture. So people speak about it. This is two things. I think we can speak of one if we don't speak of the other, because the first one is like provocating the states without money, just please react. And the two girls went to prison. And the other, it's like a famous woman who came from the United States, who came from the promotion of the movie. And this woman is like, welcome, congratulations, it's a good thing. So I think we can question it, like, which is right and which is wrong.
Oh,
It's just classes, and in a way we put people in prison, and in other way we give money for this woman for creating this. I think, I don't know, it's interesting.
Oh, I see. Thank you for answering some. Okay.